we are used to hearing the phrase, mysterious Russia, and rarely stop to think about what those words truly mean. But take a closer look. Russia is indeed full of mysteries and inexplicable secrets. Let's start with the seas of Russia and the Black Sea. The country's warmest sea and a favorite vacation spot for Russians, is lined with resorts, health spas, and beautiful beaches. But what interests us are the unsolved mysteries of this sea. And it turns out that the coastline and continental shelf were once completely different. And areas that are now underwater were once dry land, ports, cities, villages, and vast territories. At depths of up to 100 meters, divers have discovered traces of ancient civilizations. Some even believe that the legendary Atlantis lies beneath the Black Sea. And there, claims are supported by numerous archaeological and diving discoveries near the shores of Turkey and Bulgaria. And these findings prove that the sea level has changed and settlements were swallowed by the waters. But one big question remains. And when did this happen? Scientists acknowledge these facts but can't agree on whether the sea level rose gradually or due to a sudden catastrophe, possibly around 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. What is clear is this salty water from the Mediterranean and the Sea of Marmara flooded the freshwater Black Sea, raising its level, bringing in salt and new marine species like crabs and fish. Let's not forget Robert Ballard, and the renowned deep-sea explorer who discovered the Titanic. And he also investigated the Black Sea and concluded that a global flood was a real event. At 150 meters below the surface, and researchers found sunken settlements, destroyed by that ancient deluge. But another mystery remains. And why is everything below 150 meters completely dead, while life flourishes above? Scientists, of course, offer explanations. They claim that the salt water killed the existing freshwater species, and then their remains created layers of hydrogen sulfide and methane, turning the lower levels of the sea into a lifeless abyss. But wait, hydrogen sulfide and methane are gases. How did they end up settled on the bottom, beneath layers of silt? Everyone's seen what happens when fish die in a polluted pond. They float. They don't create a toxic layer on the lake. But scientists don't seem concerned. As far as they're concerned, the case is closed, which means the real answer is still unknown. The mystery remains. And so, divers and amateur historians continue to explore these depths, searching for treasures from ancient times. Most of they find sunken ships from World War II. For example, the hospital ship Armenia, sunk by German T-41, carried over 7,000 wounded and refugees. Divers recently saw a nurse's white uniform still hanging in the ship's upper railing. And likely, someone tried to signal to the pilots that this was a Red Cross ship, but the attack continued, and the helpless vessel went down with everyone on board. Over 7,000 souls, a haunting trace of history. Now, let's briefly discuss the mysteries of the Caspian Sea. Technically the world's largest lake, and it receives fresh water from rivers but has no outlet to the oceans. Long ago, it was one with the Black and Azov Seas. But let's talk about more recent human history, where the mysteries deepen. Scientists still debate. And will the Caspian Sea dry up like the Aral Sea, plunging the region into ecological disaster? Or will it rise again? One thing is certain, its level changes constantly. It floods coastal areas, then retreats, revealing ancient shorelines and giving archaeologists access to submerged artifacts. Coins from the Durban and Hulagu eras, copper and glass jewelry, glazed ceramics, ship anchors, all uncovered from what used to be the seafloor. In 1990, the water level was 2 meters higher than normal. Now, it's 1.5 meters below. If this trend continues, scientists predict that 30% of the Caspian's volume could disappear in the coming decades. So where is the water going? Some believe the Caspian and Aral Seas are connected by underground rivers or channels. That tectonic activity opens and closes these pathways, and transferring water between basins. Others point to human activity and uncontrolled irrigation projects in the Soviet era drained rivers like the Amu Darya to grow Turkmenistan, and dooming the Aral Sea and creating a toxic salt desert in its place. The same is happening with the Volga, the main donor river for the Caspian. As the Volga shrinks, the Caspian reacts by lowering its water level. Historical maps even show the Caspian once split in two, and the Khazar Sea in the north and the Hyrcanian Sea in the south, divided by a ridge near the Absheron Peninsula. Over time, and the sea refilled and rose again. Will it do so now? No one knows. And with some serious researchers believe the Caspian Sea is home to an underwater UFO base, linked to the Earth's crust channels. And many have reported seeing UFOs plunge to its waters. But so far, no proof, just legends. And Finally, the Barents Sea, Russia's westernmost sea, and a graveyard of sailors. Russia has fought many wars, especially against the so-called civilized West. As a result, the Barents Sea is filled with torpid Soviet ships, warships, cargo vessels, floating hospitals, all victims of German U-boats. Modern hydrographers continue mapping the seafloor and discovering these wrecks. One report reads, "The location of the guard ship Tumen, lost in an unequal battle with 3 Nazi destroyers 80 years ago, has been confirmed on the bottom of the Barents Sea. Another, 4 hospital ships sunk during the 1941 Tallinn evacuation have been found in the Gulf of Finland. And of course, in 2000, the nuclear submarine Kursk sank in this very sea. Many Russians believe it was torpedoed by the Americans after a deep sea collision. A theory won the foreign-monger, the forwarder upon his resignation. And the official story, of course, blames poor maintenance. In the chaotic post-Soviet years, officers went unpaid for months. Imagine what kind of morale and readiness they had. But facts remain: Kursk exploded. No rescue attempt was made, and when they finally opened the hatches, no one had survived. Later, they raised the submarine, but first, they cut off the nose section. Was it to hide the explosion evidence? The whole incident remains shrouded in mystery. And as always, the truth was swept under the rug. And so, we put a period here. Our Russia remains a land of mysteries, and there are many more stories to tell. But we'll save them for another time. Good luck, my friends. This channel is about mysticism, unsolved mysteries, and inexplicable phenomena of our world. Subscribe and view videos.